Welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. With over 20 years of real estate experience and selling over 150 homes a year, Laura Sanders is the #1 RE/MAX agent in the state of Florida for 2021. Join us each week as we discuss how to make money through buying and flipping homes to renting versus selling and everything in between. To join the conversation, call in live. 888-994-4995, Studio A.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Making Money with Laura Sanders, and I am your host, Laura Sanders. Every week we talk about something that has to do with helping you to save money, make money, something that has something to do that could help you out in this crazy world. Today, we're going to talk about mortgage rates, and we have the wonderful lender, Max Fish, with Nationwide Mortgage. Welcome, Max.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. So, we met a few weeks ago. We talked about rates and what was going on, and rates are better today again.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a whirlwind. I tell people it's one of those things, it's such an imperfect science where people try to time it. People saw a correction happening, but to drop over a point and a half, 1.5 points.
Which means that people bought 2 weeks ago, you should refinance today.
It's almost silly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those things where, back in November, we were talking about rates being almost 8%, and now they're in the mid 6s, FHA's high 5s. I mean, we're talking
5s. That means run to buy, which is
I mean, we're talking about the difference between $400 or $500 a month in some circumstances.
A lot of money.
Yeah, it's a ton of money.
It helps because of insurance.
Yeah.
It helps because of taxes.
It's one of those things that, again, at a snap of a finger can just change. Even the smartest minds in our business and our industry can't really predict it, right? We could just watch trends, which looks good for this upcoming year, which I know you want to talk about.
Yeah, we've been trying to predict what's going to happen in the future. And it's funny, I actually had another lender today ask me, where did you get that rates are going to come down in April or May? And I'm like, I didn't say that specifically.
Yeah.
I said, we're going to see things are going to start changing. Typically, usually in election year, it's usually mid-year, people either get scared to buy. Typically, the president wants to stimulate the economy. Typically, that's what we've seen over time. What it looks like, and I could be wrong, I'm not the perfect, but it looks like inflation is coming down a little bit.
Yeah, we've gotten very good news on that front.
Yeah, so I think that's something that's good and bad. Bad for people like me that have rentals, right? Because the rental, I'm not renting, but my rental prices were up and now they're coming down. So what you're seeing is last year you'll see a rental that rented for $5,000. This year you're going to see it's going to rent for $4,500. And those that are not really, they might have one rental, they don't really understand. Well, last year I got 5. Why am I only getting 45 this year? And by the way, it doesn't matter what's going on. Generally, it's who's available, who's out there, who's looking, who's willing to pay whatever they're willing to pay.
Yeah, and that's why I think people lived in kind of a fantasy land, right, in 2021 and 2022. I can't be more direct. This market that we're headed into, in my opinion, is a stable, healthy market, right? 2021 and 2022 that people got caught up in, that was not stable.
Yeah, we made more money.
Yeah, things were up. Like if you own property and you were renting, like you said, great. If you wanted to sell, fantastic. Interest rates were low.
Yeah, but the people that had a house already like 5 years before were like geniuses.
Correct. That small blip of time wasn't it's not sustainable. Now, in my opinion, we're headed into a more stable market where I could see rates hovering in the 5s for a long time. Once they hit the 5s, and 4s and 5s historically are a stable spot for interest rates.
So what do rates look like on that? Let me see if I get it right. I have this mental block with the DSCR loan.
Sure.
Did I get it right?
Yeah, DSCR.
Oh, I got it right. What are those rates looking like right now? Because that's a great investment product.
Yeah, those rates are mid 7s, which conventional rates were 5 weeks ago, right? So if
Right.
relatively speaking,
They were 9.
Yeah, relatively speaking, they've gone down a lot. And if you don't want to use income to qualify, or you want to be able to leverage assets, put them in LLC names, because you can do that.
Oh, okay.
With those types of loans, then those programs are great for you. And 7.5, given the last few years, a year and a half,
Let's talk about the quick bullet points on that, though.
Yeah.
Number 1, you already have to own a property
Yeah, you already have to own a primary residence
in order to be able to buy this
Yeah.
investment.
Mm-hmm.
But you do not have to qualify with a job.
Correct. No income qualification.
So you don't
no
have to
tax
work.
returns. No pay stubs. Nothing. Yeah. You don't
so
even
if you
have to
think
have a
you're
job.
going to circumvent the situation and try to use it as your primary,
Yeah.
and you don't have a primary, that's not going to probably work.
Yeah, I mean, it really, they want to verify that people are buying these as true investments. They're not going to be living there, right? And one way for them to do that is to make sure that they already own a primary, right? But the program is good for a lot of different people. It's good for if you want to put it in an LLC name. Can't do that with regular conventional. It's good for if you are self-employed and you write off a lot on your taxes and can't qualify with your income. And it's good if you just don't have a job, but you have a lot of money and you want to get into investing.
Right.
This would be the way to do it.
Because you need to put down 20.
20% minimum. But, obviously the more you put down, the better the terms, rates, so on and so forth get. The main qualification for this type of loan is that the market rent has to cover the mortgage payment by $1.
And if it doesn't, you have other options.
If it doesn't, you can continue forward with the loan, but now the minimum down payment is 30%, and the rate is going to be about a point higher. So if it was 7.5, it would be on average about 8.5 if it didn't cover.
Okay.
But the deal's not dead. So that's the good news.
Okay. Do they allow you to utilize income from Airbnb or no?
So we do have a program that is specific, DSCR, specific for Airbnb.
And how does that work differently than the other one?
So I actually like it better,
Okay.
to be honest with you, simply because
No, lie to me.
they go based off of AirDNA.
AirDNA?
Yeah, so AirDNA is a program that you can go on. You can put a property address in,
Okay.
and it pretty much gives you an estimate of what the occupancy for that property is
Interesting.
and what the estimate monthly amount will be. that
So
the
it's
property will generate.
AirDNA?
Yep.
DNA, like DNA, like your DNA?
Yeah. AirDNA.
Okay.
And
okay.
so we looked that up. You have to have access to the program. We have access
okay.
to it. You look that up, and as long as the monthly, the estimated monthly revenue gained from that property is over the mortgage payment, and the occupancy is more than 60%.
That's a great thing, though, because that helps. You're saying it's a program somebody has to pay for, right?
AirDNA, yeah.
Right. So I don't know what that costs, but that's like, to me, is another reason to use you, because to me, to not know and to have that information before investing in something that could be so costly and make such a big mistake.
Sure.
I don't feel that any realtor can tell you really what you're going to get on Airbnb, because I don't think there's really there might be one realtor that has experience on managing Airbnbs,
Yeah.
but I don't think that they know every single market, right?
Yeah.
And you would have to do a lot of work, and there's so many on Airbnb, there's so much competition.
Sure.
So
Especially now. And Airbnb, to me, it is real estate, but it's sort of like a business.
it is.
Like you have to promote it. You have to, two people could buy the same property and make completely different money,
Right.
right? Just depending on how they run it. It's like anything else, and that's what I think makes Airbnb so interesting, is because if you have, as an individual, the intangibles to be able to run a business, which obviously you've shown that you can do, but in general,
Right.
I think that bodes well for Airbnb, because it's not just, hey, I buy a property, let's see what we can get for a long-term lease, leave it alone, completely passive. Airbnb is more of what's my customer service like?
Right.
What's my, what am I putting in the property? How am I promoting the property / business? Which I think is interesting.
Yeah. Well, you know what? When we come back, we're going to go to commercial break. When we come back, let's talk about customer service and how do we do customer service when it comes to an Airbnb, because if people want to invest their money, we want our customers to know Well, how does that look for you? So
Sure.
stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're going to commercial break to see our amazing sponsors.
Whether you're buying, selling, refinancing, or building your dream home, you have a lot riding on your loan specialist. Max Fish, a top 1% mortgage loan officer in the nation, will give you a same-day qualifying quote. Max Fish is committed to providing his customers with mortgage services that exceed their expectations. Ensuring that you make the right choice for you and your family is his ultimate goal. Contact Max Fish today at 954-729-6933 or max.fisch@nwmcorp.net.
At JK Closing Attorneys, we do all of the same things that a title company does, but with the benefits of being a law office. We can help with residential real estate, short sales, commercial real estate, refinances, 1031 exchanges, and FIRPTA withholding.
Contact JK Closing Attorneys today at 954-332-3111. Again, that is 954-332-3111.
You have been watching Making Money with Laura. For more information, contact Laura Sanders at 954-650-0827 or visit her website at lauraess.com. And now back to the show.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Making Money with Laura Sanders, and I am your host, Laura Sanders. If you're thinking about buying or selling, I'm definitely your realtor you should call. I have tons of experience. I can make sure that your house is ready to go to market in the best condition possible. And if you're thinking about getting a mortgage, you should definitely give Max Fish a call. He's got some great programs out there, and you know what? Interest rates are like all over the place. He'll actually make it where you can refinance for free other than hard costs, and hard costs would be title,
State and county recording fees.
which are minimal,
Yeah, and
title and lien search.
yeah, that's about it. Like title
Yeah.
fees
What about
and state and
appraisal?
county recording fees. Nope, covered.
Awesome. And
Yeah.
typically those are costing what, $650 these days?
Yeah, so all the bank fees that are covered typically range between $1,500 and $2,000. So those are all covered.
Right. And then
Yeah.
if you look at it and all of a sudden ask questions, because a lot of times you're thinking it's all this money to refi, right? But it's really not, because we have prepaids and people
Correct.
don't understand what a prepaid is.
Yeah, so prepaids are typically, they're not true costs. They're prepaids are, you're prepaying for homeowner's insurance that you're going to have to pay for anyways, right? So you're prepaying for homeowner's insurance up front at closing. They're collecting a couple of months of insurance in property taxes in an escrow account. All of that is still your money. It's just being collected in an account for you.
Again. And then they'll give you back the old.
And they'll give you back what you currently had in your escrow account.
Right.
So a lot of times it's pretty similar, or it's pretty close to a wash.
Right. Or it might be a little more only because you're starting again from a new date.
Yeah, give
So
or take.
it's your money.
Give or take.
It's still your money.
It's all your money. Now the cool part about refinancing is that all of that stuff is rolled into the loan and not paid out of pocket.
And usually if you make the days work right, you could probably get away with like a month and a half
Yeah.
of no mortgage.
Yeah. So
So
a
it's
lot of
kind of
people
breaking
actually-
easy.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that. It's whenever mortgage payments are paid in arrear. So when you make a payment, let's say on March 1st, you're paying for February. So if you close on January 1st, at closing, you'll pay for a certain portion of the days that you live there in that month. You'll have no payment in February, and your payment in March will be paying for February. So you can go a full 60 days without having to worry about your mortgage payment.
Yeah, which is great.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So
Yeah.
we were talking about, let's go back to what we were talking about. We're talking about customer service and Airbnb, and let's make it clear, Airbnb is actually a company. We use it as like the general description, but we have other companies out there. You have Home Away from Home, VRBO, and I think Home Away from Home is like connected to them, and it's like just different ways for people to connect. So these are different ways that you can search for properties to go and look online.
Yes.
So let's talk about customer service. I had a situation on one of mine recently. I had somebody stay. I pay a pool person to take care of the hot tub. The hot tub's only 15 months old. It's new. This is the second pool person to burn the motor out.
Jeez.
Now, I asked this guy to please check it every week. Super nice guy, though. Mm-hmm. So I feel bad going all Laura on him. And I don't know what to do because person checks in for a 9-day stay the week of New Year's.
9 days is a long time.
Mm-hmm. And it says like your waterfront hot tub, you know, property. So they call me, it's Thursday night, they check in, tell me it's not working. I'm like, okay, first thing I do is I text the pool guy. And by the way, he's off from December 25th till the 2nd of January. That's a long time,
That
right?
is super
I mean,
long
7 days, I get it, but like,
Yeah.
it's like owning a farm. Like, do you not feed the animals?
Yeah.
Like, you know, they're putting in extra chlorine. I'm like, that doesn't help,
Yeah.
right? Every week he's supposed to check to make sure that it's working, everything. Well, come to find out that it's the pH not being where it should be that's creating the motor to rust and seize. So I guess the question is, right, I try to get somebody out to fix it right away. I've wasted more money than I'm making actually on this whole deal. I even have a pump that still hasn't shown up that I ordered before New Year's. Still hasn't shown up. Today's what, right? It was supposed to come out by, should have been to me by whatever it was. I still haven't gotten it. I wasted money on that. I then had to refund them 25% of their stay. And I don't think that they were happy, and she was very aggressive with me. Like it wasn't like I wasn't trying.
It's a business.
Definitely created a lot of stress and anxiety. So
Yeah.
like, what would you have done in that situation? Like, you're trying to fix it, right? I'm doing what I can. Would you give back 25%? I offered a night free. I even said, if you'd like to leave, you're more than welcome to leave. Like, she didn't say, oh, I can't find another place. I mean,
I think my perspective is if they decided to stay,
right?
then I don't think that I would have, I think I would have done everything I could to remedy the problem, you know, but I don't think I would give back 25%.
So something I learned that I didn't know. I learned that Airbnb, if you have something like that doesn't work, that's in the listing, they can get back 30% of their stay. Now, I don't know where that's read. I don't know how that is, but
Wow.
that's, I think, very unfair. Honestly, if that was the situation and she waited till about 4, 5, 6 days in telling me she wanted 25% back after I'd like basically exhausted every option, you know, you're not getting anybody out there for New Year's weekend.
Sure.
But if I'd known that, it's like, why waste the money trying to pay extra for people to go out on a holiday weekend?
It's crazy.
And then there's a part that you just can't get.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, listen, like I said, it's very, very much like running a business. I mean, a customer's complaining, right? And you're doing everything that you can to remedy the situation, but it really does. It comes down to customer service. And we have that in our main businesses, right? It's a constant balancing act. That's why, in my opinion, it's very important to have a supporting cast as well, right? The people that work for you and surround yourself with, those types of people. Like for me, it's my processor, Lindsay. I mean, without Lindsay, there would be a lot different about my business.
Well, we're going to have to see if Lindsay watches this, because is it time for Lindsay for a raise? I don't know. I'm just asking. I'm asking for a friend. I don't even know Lindsay, and it's like, I'm asking for a friend.
But my point is
Yeah.
it's just very, very important. It's very important
It
to
is.
have those people that help,
Right.
you know, keep the consistency, because you saw just a breakdown of one of your contacts not being available for a specific time period. I mean, it was...
Well, here's the thing. So the guy that, I did get the guy that does it, and he was like, well, I'm not doing anything till, it's like,
It's tough.
yeah.
It's tough. But, again, I think that you handled it the best way you could.
I tried.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just one of those things where it's outside of your control, you know?
Yeah.
The best thing you can do is just try to handle it,
Yeah.
right? And if people are being unreasonable, that's it,
Yeah.
you know?
They definitely, I thought that the tone and just the way that it was being handled towards me, where it wasn't like, I was like, all right, I had sent somebody out right away as soon as they mentioned it. I mean, they were out the next morning. Like, I did everything I could.
Yeah.
You know, my husband gives me such a hard time because I'm such a customer service freak that he's like, Laura, it's not a hotel. Like, you don't charge the fees that a hotel does. Like, and it's funny, they wanted even like whatever Airbnb charged a percentage of that back. And I was like, I have no control over that. Like, I lost money on that stay.
Yeah.
So what would you do with the pool guy? Obviously, I'm trying to find somebody. So if anybody knows anybody that takes care of hot tubs in the Pompano Beach area, call me at 954-650-0827. Or if you want to sell a house too, you can call me there too.
I mean, I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I'm a little bit on the more unrealistic side with people just because it's the way I work. But if I'm not available or, you know, obviously there's always a place and a time for, you know, taking some time away from what you do.
It had nothing to do with that though. See, this is something that, from what I've been told from the guy that takes care, that fixes hot tubs. By the way, that was a whole nother shenanigan, by the way. I talked to one guy like, oh, my books are closed for the year. It's going to have to be cash. I'm not putting any more stuff in my books for the year. And I'm like, okay, like, and it's going to be very expensive. And it's like, what's expensive? Like,
I don't know.
Wouldn't give me a number. I'm asking 100 times. And it's like, I don't know. Like, in the end, like, I should have been charging for therapy on this whole thing, but.
A therapy fee. That's too funny.
I was like, okay, so can you fix it or not? Well, I can't guarantee it. I'm going to charge you a lot of money just to go look and see if I can or can't. Well, that didn't make me feel very warm and fuzzy.
Well, suffice it to say, if you need Airbnb financing,
Max can help you.
yeah, I can help you if you want to deal with this stuff.
But finding good management.
Yeah.
I mean, you're using a personal friend to help you with
That's super
yours.
important.
I mean, I'm using the best person I know, which is me.
Yeah. Well, the second best person that I know are my good friends.
Yeah.
And, so.
You know, obviously, you know, you need to be able to, you know, I mean, it's good it removes you from it. I wonder, like, okay, so your friend that's doing it, right? I know we're running out of time, but let's just say your friend that's managing your property for you, like, I wonder how they would handle it.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably similar. I mean, I don't think you could have handled it better than the way that you handled it. It's just the only difference is
it's easier for him to give 25% back than for you.
The only difference is that somebody else is managing it and not you. That's it. That's the only difference.
And
you don't have to deal with it.
Let's just hope your friend doesn't forget to buy toilet paper. I mean, that would be just a, I can't even say that word on this, can I? It just wouldn't be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's a good number to reach you at if somebody's looking to buy or refinance?
Sure. The best number to reach me at is my personal line, 954-729-6933. That's 954-729-6933.
And if anybody walks up to him and asks him, what does chicken mean? We know what it means. So
Yes.
ask Max what it means if you say the word chicken. Or did we? Well, it was turkey in November, but we'll just keep it at chicken.
Yeah, chicken's good.
Well, for February we can do red heart.
Yeah, maybe we can just change it up.
Yeah,
later
you know,
on.
for like the holidays. But
But
right now
January,
we're
chicken's good.
gonna be chicken. So if you're thinking about buying or selling, give Laura Sanders or Max Fish a call. We look forward to seeing you next time on Making Money with Laura. Hope we've helped you. Have a great night, guys.
Thank you for tuning in for Making Money with Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. To join the conversation, call us at the studio, 888-994-4995 Studio A, or contact Laura directly at 954-650-0827. Laura Sanders, a name you can trust. We look forward to seeing you